Yes, my people, damn. CFC RealistBlue back with another video, and this game week 10 Premier League table match review. So let me get the Premier League table up for you guys. Let me know where you think Chelsea will finish. Will Chelsea finish in top 4? Will Chelsea finish in top 4? Let me know, and I hope you guys having a good day. Make sure to check out the match preview, and I will be going live tomorrow for the watch along for the Chelsea versus FC Noah game in the Conference League. But let me know on the poll if you think Chelsea will finish in the top 4. I'm about to go and get the Premier League table up for you. And also going to do a Chelsea player start attack on Moises Caicedo. Let me just get this up. Premier League table. Okay, here we are. So this is the Premier League table on match day 10. So this is the Premier League table on match day 10. As you can see, Liverpool are first, Man City are second, surprisingly. Nottingham Forest are third, Chelsea are fourth, Arsenal are fifth, Aston Villa are sixth, Tottenham are seventh, Brighton are eighth, Fulham ninth, Bournemouth 10th, Newcastle 11th, Brentford 12th, 13th Manchester United, 14th West Ham, 15th Leicester, 16th Everton, 17th Crystal Palace, 18th Ipswich, 19th Southampton, and bottom of the table is Wolves on match day 10. And I may see that bottom of the table. Yeah, man, it is dire. That man there, it's not looking good still. It's not looking good. And obviously these are the teams, and these guys, Wolves, are the only team in the Premier League without a win. Maybe Southampton as well, but everyone else other than these two are winning. But now you can look at the top half, the top 4. I don't think at any point in the season that people would have gone into a game week and thought this will be the top 4. Liverpool, Man City, Nottingham Forest, and Chelsea. But if I'm going to be honest, every team deserves to be where they are. Nottingham Forest, they have only lost one game this season. They have beaten Liverpool as well, and they didn't lose to us. Like, they've literally won all of their games bar 3, if I'm not mistaken. They've dropped points in 3 of their games. They've lost once, and they've drawn like twice or maybe 3 times. 90% certain at this point, but they're doing terrific. And with guys like Callum Hudson-Odoi, former Chelsea graduate or Chelsea Academy graduate, Ola Aina, they are doing their thing with Nottingham Forest. Had to talk about the defense as well. That Murillo brother, he is one cold defender and he's doing very well. I have to talk about their manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. He was a former Wolves manager and he done so well with them during his stint there until he got sacked. But for the majority of the time, there was always like one of the teams that were trying to break into Europe. And with the way Nottingham Forest are playing, there is no guarantees, but they will most likely be able to get a European place if things go on the way that they have been, because they've played near enough all the top teams. If I look at the Nottingham Forest fixtures so far this season, let me just check, because who have they played? Nottingham Forest this season. In the Premier League, Nottingham Forest have got, what's that thing called? They have played West Ham, who they beat 3-0. They beat Leicester 3-1. They beat Crystal Palace 1-0. They drew with Chelsea 1-1. Fulham beat them 1-0. They drew with Brighton. They beat Liverpool. And they drew with Wolves on the opening day. Oh, wait, no. They drew with Wolves, beat Southampton, and drew with Nottingham Forest. So these guys in the season, they have 5 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. That's what Nottingham Forest have, and you have to big them up. They've had 2 big tests, or 3 tests if you count Brighton, in Chelsea, Liverpool, and Brighton, and they've been able to pick up what 3, 4, 5 points out of a possible 9 against all those teams. You'll be thinking that Nottingham Forest are going to lose one of those games, but they didn't. The only game they have lost is to Fulham, and Fulham, they've been doing okay. They got 15 points out of a possible 30, and they are there. But I can't lie, the Premier League table is very close. Like, if we're gonna actually deep it, Chelsea right now, we are 18th. I mean, we are 4th with 18 points, but we have the same points as Arsenal and Aston Villa. But man, has to deep it. There is only 5 points separating 12th all the way to 4th. Like, it is scareful. 2 losses, and your team could be in the bottom half of the table. 2 losses, and your team could be in the bottom half of the table. That is scareful, especially for Chelsea, because if we deep it, we got Arsenal, and then after the international break, who do we have again? After international break, we got someone. Who was it again? Let me look at this. After international break, we play Leicester. So, yeah, man, we need to win that game. But we also have to talk about, obviously, Liverpool. Liverpool in this Premier League season, they are doing very well. I can't cap. 25 points out of a possible 30. They've dropped points in 2 games, losing to Nottingham Forest and drawing with someone else. Not 100% certain who they drew with, but they're doing their thing. Mo Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, and their defense overall is just doing their thing. I have to pick up Arne Slot as well for Liverpool, because I never thought that they would be doing this well to be top of the table, and they've been top more times than any other team during the season. They traded places with Manchester City a couple of times now, but they are back at the top, and they are 2 points clear of them and 6 points clear of 3rd place and 7 points clear of 4th, 5th, and 6th. So they are doing their thing, and they have not had easy fixtures either. If you look at Liverpool's fixtures so far this season, they haven't had easy ones. They have played Brighton, they have played Arsenal, they have played Chelsea, they have played who else? They have played Nottingham Forest, who they lost to. They have played Manchester United. They have played Brentford. Hey man, it has not been an easy road for them, but they are handling their business and doing what needs to be done. They are absolutely doing what needs to be done, and you have to big up Liverpool, even though I don't really like them still. I don't really like them, but you have to big them up. They are doing their business. Manchester City, it's not looking that great for them, if I'm actually going to be honest. Rodri going to be out for the whole entire season. That's already playing a big part. And no De Bruyne either. Haaland hasn't scored in a couple of his last games, and it plays a factor because without Kevin De Bruyne, without Rodri, these guys can't control games and create chances like they normally would at their role, and Haaland won't get a lot of easy chances as Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri could facilitate helping him get, just because of the space that they take up, and because the other Premier League teams are gonna have to know that they have to be alert. But now they know full well that they just have to stop. They just have to stop Erling Haaland, because Doku can do somewhat, Foden can do something, but without Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri in that team, they will not be able to dictate matches the way that they normally will, and they won't be able to create chances because they don't have the speed of which they pass the ball to do so. And that's why, for me, Man City, hey, this could be the year where they don't win the Premier League title for the first time in 5 years. But we have to wait and see, because guys like De Bruyne will be back, but it's just going to be hard for them to do so without, what's his name? Rodri, who was their best player last season and won the Ballon d'Or. So it's going to be a very, very interesting interesting rest of the season. But obviously now talking about Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea and Arsenal play each other this weekend in the Premier League on Super Sunday. And boy, oh boy, we need to win that game. Both teams are on level points. And I don't remember the last time that Chelsea could be able to say that they were on level points with Arsenal. It's been a couple of years. It goes to show that times are changing. And especially because after 10 games, this season, we are 4th. Last season, we was like 11th after 10 games. We was so poor. We had about 12 points at this point of the year last year. And now we have a whole 6 points more than we did at this point last season. Have to big up Enzo Maresca and you have to big up the team. But Maresca's system and the way he's coaching our players is getting the best out of them. It's just defensively, we are always lackluster. We will always concede chances. And the man them just need to pattern up the defense. Because if we pattern up our defense, we will get top 4. But that is a big if because we have guys like Robert Sanchez who causes mistakes at times. Our centre backs, Wesley Fofana, who has recently come back from injury, he didn't play for a whole like 16 to 17 months. And for me, it goes to show that in this what's the thing called? In this season, we're gonna be lackluster at times in our defense. And it's just about the growing pains. Nothing that starts is always 100% well winner. So if we're just gonna be honest, we're just gonna need to work on the defense. But that is literally the Achilles heel. Our defense will stop us from getting top 4, but our attack will make us do so. So let's just wait and see. And obviously, Arsenal hasn't been a good season for them. This time last year, they had probably about between 23 to 25 points in the Premier League. Now they have 18. They have dropped below their standards set for the last couple of seasons. And we're going to have to capitalize on this. We need to capitalize on this come Sunday. We must capitalize on this because if we don't, then we're going to fall not only out of the top 4, but closer to the bottom half because all it takes is for one of these or 2 of these teams to get 3 points and then we could go back down to 8th or 9th. And that is scareful. That is scareful. And said Martin Exodus, we big. Love for your comment. But yeah, our defense just needs to pattern up, and we have to be Arsenal. And bro said we big Enzo up, but what he started off tasting players in a position they don't play. Bro, man's killing me. Enzo will do the things that he needs to do, and we have a lot of players that can play multiple positions. The only people that don't play multiple positions more time is our centre backs. And I don't think he's playing guys out of their position other than Nkunku. But Nkunku hardly ever starts unless it's in the Conference League. So for me, he doesn't necessarily do it. Last season, we could complain about Pochettino doing it on a consistent basis. You can't say that Enzo Maresca plays guys out of the position on a consistent basis. Like that Renato Vega situation, that's one of them. But he doesn't do this on a consistent basis. And like I've already said, we have multiple players that can play multiple positions. It's just how the game goes nowadays in football. It's just how the game goes. We have a lot of people who play multiple positions. So I'm not getting onto Enzo for anything like that because this is just how the season goes. And multiple managers will play guys out of position. Like, look at Mikel Arteta for Arsenal. He's been playing Thomas Partey as right back. Thomas Partey ain't no right back, but he's been playing him there. So, yeah, man. Every manager will do what they need to do. But I'm not going to fault Enzo. Playing Reece James left back is out of position. No, but you have to understand. Maybe he's playing him there because the way Malo Gusto gets up and down the pitch, the way he gets into the forward areas. Maybe Reece can't do that right now because he was injured for a long period of time. We're not trying to thrust him into those roles on a consistent basis in case he gets injured. Because I guarantee you this, if Reece was to play as right back and was bombing up and down, Axel Disasi isn't a right back either. He can play right back, and he's played right back on other occasions. I don't agree with that, but nonetheless, what we're going to do, play Malo Gusto, play Reece James every single week or just in the Conference League, when these are both guys that have had injury problems. Fair enough, if Reece James and Malo Gusto didn't have injury problems, then I could understand it. But these are guys that have both had injury problems. And they've both been out already this season. And we can't afford for those kind of things to happen. That's why playing Axel Disasi as a right back in the Conference League isn't too major. We've even played Wesley Fofana as a right back in the Premier League match before, but that's just to accommodate those situations, because to play someone like Josh Akumpong, who is a right back, that's a risk. And at these points in times, how many Chelsea fans are going to be saying, oh yeah, we understand you're going to play him, Josh Akumpong, we can understand that he's going to play as a right back, but what happens when we lose? Are most Chelsea fans happy? Or Chelsea fans going to be pointing the finger that this is him, this is what he done this wrong. That's how they're going to move. And unless we get the result, that's the only thing that's going to keep most of the Chelsea fans happy. So Maresca, he's doing what he needs to do. Play Reece James as a left back, right back, he's a great defender, regardless. Malo Gusto, he's trying to teach him the role in order to play a lot better. But he can't do necessarily what Reece does, but Reece can't get up the field the same way that Malo does. Malo Gusto has pace and easily by far our fastest defender. By far, he's our fastest defender. So I can understand people's frustrations and these kind of things, but if we're just going to be honest, like last season, we were literally 11th or 12th at this point. Now we're in the top 4. Maresca's been doing all these things that you've been saying, and we're still getting results. Fair enough, we didn't beat Manchester United, but we haven't beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford for since 2013. And we've gone there with guys that have won Champions Leagues. We've gone there with guys that have won Premier League titles. This is just the things that happen. We're now just trying to get top 4. And the fact that we're in the top 4 right now is very good, because we've already been in the top 4 3 times this season on 3 different match days, where in the whole of last season, we weren't in the top 4 once. Not once was we in the top 4 this last season. Not once. You can go through every single match day 1 to 38. We was never in the top 4 once. And we was playing 1 game a week. Has to bear that in mind as well. So for me, people saying obviously Maresca playing guys out positions, he will do what needs to be done. And man trusts him, because you can't just play every guy in their best positions all the time. And they have multiple positions. As long as you're not putting a centre back in a fullback role to make him go up and down, those are completely different roles. But if you're playing Reece James as a left back or a right back, it's a fullback nonetheless. But what we require from our defenders or the inverted centre backs, not inverted centre backs, the inverted fullbacks, we're going to need them to go up and down. And Reece, he might not be able to do that at the fullest of his capacity because he could get injured. And we all know we do not want Reece James to get injured. That is 100% fact. So you just have to trust what Enzo Maresca is doing and trust that he's trying to look after our players, because he's been doing a great job of it so far. This time last year, we was getting injuries. We had 6 injuries every single game week up until match week 34 or 35 in the Premier League. Right now, we've only had a couple of injuries at most. We've never been able to call out at least 5 guys out for injuries. It's count. That's not what's been happening. So we just have to trust Maresca and trust that he knows what he's doing, because the proof is there. We're in the top 4. That was the last time you saw us being this good. Like, he's been doing his thing, and I have to big up Enzo Maresca, because we literally are playing games that we would have lost last season or that we drew. So You have to take the positives as they come. And bearing in mind that he keeps switching different 11s as well. So we just have to literally bear that in mind, because Enzo Maresca is trying to do what he needs to be done in order to get top 4, in order to win the Conference League. So yeah, like, you just have to trust it. And if Axel Disasi plays right back, that's due to the fact that we're playing Conference League. And the Conference League, we're coming up against even a team tomorrow. The coach, man said the coach definitely deserves praise for what he's done so far this season, especially taking everything into consideration. 100%. And that's all I've been saying. He deserves praise. And not everyone's going to do everything 100%. There's times where we might have to play an actual necessity at right back. But we're not going to be doing this in the biggest of games. Like, in the games that really matter, we will play our best 11. And more time, guys that play in their roles, a right back, left back, they're both full back roles. There's not really a change. There's not really so much change. If it was a centre back going to a full back role, that'd be a difference. But Maresca be doing the thing that he does. Even in Nkunku is a number 10. He plays a number 10 at his best, but he's been asked to play as a striker at times because we have too many guys in the team. João Felix and Cole Palmer are both cams, but so is Nkunku. Like, we have to try to figure a solution in order to try and make them all play together. So I just say that Maresca, he's been doing his thing, and we have to big him up. We have to. Because, like I said, this time last year, we was either 11th or 12th or 10th, but we was in the bottom half of the table. We was not in the top half, let alone in the top 4. As I've already said, we have been in the top 4 after a match day 3 out of 10 game weeks. That is way better than last season, where we weren't in the top 4 after a match day once. We weren't in the top 4 once. When was the last time you saw us in the top 4? Since 2022 was probably the last time. So we're just on the up and up. We have to take each game as it goes. We got Arsenal this weekend, and if we beat them, that gives us some daylight between 4th and the lower teams below us. So we have to hope that we just win that game, or as long as we don't lose it. If we don't lose that match, then that will be calm. I will not be fussed if we don't lose. I will take a draw, just due to the fact that this season is all about getting top 4. And 1 point is better than 0. And I said, however, as long as we continue to get results playing players our position, it's all good. When it goes the other way, fans and more importantly, the players won't be happy. Like you just said, you can only talk to me about Axel Disasi playing right back, or Reece James playing left back, or Malo Gusto playing left back. That's all we can say. That's all you can sit there and say. And that's not a lot of players, if we're going to be honest. And playing a fullback in a fullback role, or Disasi once every 2 weeks in the Conference League at right back, it's not that big of a deal, especially because Axel Disasi might as well be a right back this season. When has he played as a centre back this season? He hasn't. And in his career, he's played at right back for other teams. So it's not like he plays there like in all the big matches. He literally just plays there in the Conference League, a competition where we are expected to beat every single team, because every team is lower than us. We have a way more value. So that's why, to me, playing him there, it's not going to be a big issue. Playing Reece James a left back or a right back, what is the difference at this point in time? What is the difference? Because we don't see both our right backs bombing up and down, or the left backs bombing up and down the right or left-hand side. They invert into the middle. So the Reece James that we would have seen a couple of years ago, we're not going to see right now, because of the different roles that we're playing. And he needs to be able to get back. And that's why Malo Gusto is tasked with getting forward the most and getting back the most, because he has the attributes to do so on a consistent basis because of his speed. Reece James could do that, but it's a thing where he could use his legs so much that he ends up getting injured, and we don't want that. Reece James has only been back for just over a month, so we need to ease him. And like I said, other than our fullbacks, you can't really say too many people are playing out of position because a lot of our guys can play multiple positions. It's only going to be a mad issue for playing a defender in an attacking role. So I'm not really that fussed. But this is just how it's going to go, man. Like I said, last season we had Levi Cole play left back for all season, basically. We had Ben Shaw playing left wing. Like, we had a bad defense. Like, all of these things different right now, they're changing. And you just have to big up Enzo Maresca because, like I said, he's just trying to balance everything and do a lot because we have so many different players to call up upon. And we just have to trust him that he knows what he's doing. And so far this season, most of the time he's been knowing what he's doing. More often than not, he gives us our best 11 or near enough the best 11. He doesn't really make too many mistakes. So, but even when he does, we have to understand that no one's perfect as well. Everyone makes mistakes. Look at someone like Pep Guardiola with Manchester City. They have literally lost their last 3 games in all competitions. They lost to Spurs, they lost to Bournemouth, and they lost last night to Sporting. All 3 teams are way below Manchester City, but yet they lost 3 games in a row. Like, so it's like, as long as you get the results, it's the only thing that matters. But Maresca is playing players in the position that they need to, and if the players don't really like it, then they have to let him know, and he'll probably change it. And also, Enzo Maresca has to accept seriously Robert Sanchez not good enough. Error. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You have to be honest with yourself. Petrovic was already gone before Enzo Maresca had come. That is a fact. The whole Sanchez situation, the whole goalkeeper situation is not on Enzo Maresca. Do you know why? Because Philip Jorgensen and Robert Sanchez are literally the same basic keeper. They're the same keeper, if we're going to be honest. These are guys that play football with the ball at their feet and good shot stopping. Petrovic is not good with the ball at his feet. And what I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to sit here and say that Petrovic is a crap keeper. I'm definitely not trying to say that if he was here, I would want him to start. The same way going into the season, I would have preferred him to start over Sanchez. But guess what? The board have other ideas. This is on the board and the recruitment. This is not on Enzo Maresca. Because when Maresca came here, Petrovic was already gone or already on the verge of going. So this has nothing to do with Enzo Maresca. The only thing that he's doing is just picking Robert Sanchez as a number 1. But regardless whether it's him or Philip Jorgensen, we do not have a world-class keeper. None of these guys are major upgrades on each other or upgrades on each other. So this is literally not on Enzo Maresca. This is on the board and the recruitment. Because what is he meant to do? We didn't sign a new keeper this season. And the only thing we have to hope for is that come next season, that we can get another keeper, whether that's like a Diego Costa, a Mike Maignan, or we pray that guys like Gabriel Slonina or Mike Penders, who are on loan already, that they come and do well. That's the only thing. So for me, I'm not putting too much blame on Enzo Maresca for the Robert Sanchez. He comes out and defends him. That's fair. But he's backing his player and trying to get the best out of him. That's all he's trying to do. We have a whole season to try and get the best out of Robert Sanchez. Personally speaking, I don't think he'll ever be a world-class keeper. But we can be proved wrong. There was a point in time where so many people would have thought that Kevin De Bruyne, at his time at Chelsea, would never be arguably the greatest Premier League midfielder that we've ever seen. But yet, that has happened. That has happened. You never know how things turn. Guys like Mo Salah, before he came back to Liverpool, no one would have thought that he would be top 10 Premier League top goal scorers ever. He's doing it. So this is all the things that just need to happen. Guys just need to prove people wrong. And I hope that Robert Sanchez can do that. But I am not one of those people that will be thinking that, that's going to be a thing. And you're asking, is Sancho playing tomorrow? He's still ill. He won't be back until what's the thing called? until Arsenal or after international break. That's what Maresca said during his press conference. So he's not going to be playing tomorrow. He might not play on Sunday, but he should be back after international break. So yeah, man. That's just obviously the news on him. But obviously Cole Palmer is still injured as well. He won't be playing tomorrow. I shouldn't say he's injured. He hasn't been training. But if we're going to be honest, he doesn't play in the Conference League anyway. And what type of sickness does man have? He didn't say he was sick. He said he was injured. He didn't say he was feeling ill this time. And regardless, man, it's the Conference League. I am not too fast. We don't have to go there with our strongest squad because we should be winning every single game regardless. So Jadon Sancho, he hasn't played one Conference League game anyway, so shouldn't be a big deal that he's not going to play. So, like, we're just going to be honest, and we have better attackers anyway. Like, I am really not fast. I'm really not that fast. Sancho will be back when he's back, but until then, we have our players that we have. So that's all that matters at this point in time for me. When guys are fit, they are fit. If they're not, it is what it is. But it's not like we have it's not like we have 3 attackers. We literally have like 7 attackers. So, like, man's really not too fast. Man's really not too fast. So, Jadon will be back when he's back. And until then, just get better, man. That's all that matters, bro. But don't ask me about what sickness does a man have. All I do is read what the reports say from Ez Maresca. I'm not in no press conference to be like, oh yeah, what sickness does he have? He's sick, fam. That's all that you need to know. That's all it is, man. It's like saying last season, Cole Palmer fell ill before the Arsenal game. No one's going to talk about that, though, are they? So, like, people just be killing me. Cool. But yeah, obviously, that's just some thoughts and opinions. And obviously, this is the Premier League table. And I'm happy to know that my team's in the top 4 because I've seen my team in the top 4 at least 3 times more than I ever did last season. So this is brilliant. And we play Arsenal on Sunday. Hopefully, as long as we don't lose, we'll still be above them. So I would take that. A point is better than 0 at this point in time, especially if the other teams below us don't get W's. So yeah, man. But obviously, that is the Premier League table review. It's looking peak for the teams in the bottom half. Man said 7 points, 5, 4, and 3. It's a long day for them still. But now I'm gonna go over to the stat attack. The Chelsea stat attack for man like Moises Caicedo. And then after this, I'll probably cut. After this, I'll probably cut. Let me just find this news from my where is he? Two secs. Let me find this. Waxing, cause you're the go-to. And you got all these new friends trying to coach you. I remember when I used to be a go-to. Also, remember next week, yeah, man's gonna be doing bear. Obviously, it's international break, so I'll be here doing the watch-alongs. Finally, this thing shows up. Hurry up, man. And load. 2 seconds, people. Hold on. Maxie, what do you want to say? Okay. Upadte. They go frustrated. Remember, because you fucking with me. Okay. So look at this. So, with a Chelsea player start at half time, look at man like Moises Caicedo has registered more goals, 1, more assists, 2, more successful passes, 463. 463. More ball recoveries, 50. More tackles, 22. More interceptions, 17. More duels won, 68. More successful take-ons, 7. In the Premier League than Declan Rice has managed for Arsenal. Because everyone be talking about how it's either Rodri or Declan Rice who is the best. Hold on. Yeah. So obviously, people be talking about how Declan Rice, Rodri are the best CDMs in the league. But with Rodri out for the season, he can't be the best CDM in the league this season. And Declan Rice, he hasn't been doing that well for Arsenal either. But Moises Caicedo, he has been Chelsea's Mr. Consistent. Like, we can rely on Cole Palmer to get the headlines a lot of the time with the goals and the assists. But Moises Caicedo, he can score goals, he can get assists, and he can defend. This is our most important midfielder right now. He absolutely is. He is so cold. And you have to big him up every single damn time for the work that he's putting in. Because this time last year, everyone was rubbing salt into his wound saying, oh, 115 million, you are not that great. Da-da-da-da-da. The penalty you gave away against West Ham. Da-da-da-da-da. And the one thing I was always telling people is that people seem to forget that last season, Moises Caicedo, he didn't even have a preseason. His preseason started when he came on for Chelsea against West Ham. That's when it started. That's when his preseason started. He weren't playing during the summers. He wasn't doing that. So he had to get up to speed. And by the time December came, and since the start of this year, he has been Chelsea's second most important player behind Cole Palmer. In my opinion, Caicedo was our best midfielder last season. He has been doing his thing, and we have to big him up every single damn time because a man like Moises Caicedo, my brother, jeez, you are doing your thing, man. So happy. This is why I said all of those years ago that we cannot afford to not get Moises Caicedo. We cannot afford. That's what I said. That is what I said. And I'm so happy because 115 million, if we're gonna be honest, there's no one in this world that can truly make the value of over 100 million be like, oh yeah, he definitely is worth it. You can't really say that. But Moises Caicedo, over time, he can definitely do that. He can definitely do that. And I hope so. Because he's moving like Kante. He is moving like Kante. He is moving like him still. And now let me. Caicedo is king, man. King Caicedo, man. Like Moises, you know. Man is so happy with him, man. So happy with him. You have to big him up every single damn time. A man like Moises Caicedo. No, see, that was from Mozo Football and that. You guys, obviously, man's gonna be here for like another 5 minutes or so. But any questions that you want to ask me, feel free. If not, I will probably be cutting after this. I'm gonna upload some content onto other platforms because damn, bro, it is hot in the dunya, bro. But yeah, feel free to ask me any other questions. feel free to ask me anything. Like I said already, man's gonna be going live tomorrow for the Chelsea and Noah watch along. Then there will be the review after that, so stay tuned for that. And I'd like to thank you all for your support on the channel. It means a lot to me. I'll be putting so much time into this, and yeah, man, I'd like to thank you all for your support on that. See, that was the choice to play a star attack on Moises Caicedo, and I have now done the Premier League table review. Information Supreme, Mine Exodus, Drew. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for joining me on this live stream. That will be it, and yeah, my people, then make sure to check out the match preview, which I've already uploaded. Make sure to check that out, and yeah, man, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch along. But until then, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook for more Chelsea content. I'm CFC RealistBlue, and I will be doing another Premier League table review next week. So stay tuned for that and enjoy the rest of your evening. In a bit, my people, damn. Love. And the poll, how many votes do we have on the poll? There's 6 votes. Everyone said that Chelsea will finish in the top 4. Say less. We'll see if this continues, if this changes in the future. But until then, in a bit, my people, damn. Love.